Yeah, geez, wow. I haven't talked to you guys in a while. Hope everyone's been doing well. Yeah, I mean, it's been a tough road for sure. I mean, this is it's kind of like a new and different, situation that, I for one am not an expert at all, right? So I've tried to just inform myself as much as possible and speak and meet with as many doctors and get as many opinions and try and learn as much as I can about the whole situation. So yeah, it's been tough. I mean, more than anything, like I mean, not playing is the toughest part about it. I mean, that's what I love to do. And 24 years old. I mean, there's nothing I want to be doing more than playing hockey and competing and being on the ice every day. So I think the mental side of it has been tough for sure. Kind of not knowing where this is going to go. To touch on the surgery aspect, yeah, there's definitely an opportunity, a situation where it could still require surgery. So I'm trying to keep an open mind about what can happen, but more than anything, I just kind of want to fix the situation, get healthy, prepare for next season.
Hey, Jack, John Worrell. Good to see you. Just to follow up on that, it sounds like you feel that you are confident you'll be available for next season. But my other question was, we hear about hope and this team possibly turning the corner. What did you see out of this team, and how much, is there hope that this team can finally turn things around?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different perspective being being out of the lineup and kind of going through this experience where you're just watching every game from afar and being able to talk to the guys and get their perspective on how things were, how things were different and how things ran under Donnie. Guys are really positive about it. It seems like the mood's good. It seems like guys are excelling. It's, I mean, you guys watch the games just like I do. It seemed like some guys started to take off and play better. And I think that there's definitely a positive to that. I obviously didn't speak with you guys after Ralph got fired. That's always it's a tough situation. It's a tough situation, for an organization, for players. It's hard. It's Ralph is a phenomenal human being and somebody that I hope to continue to have a relationship with the rest of my life. I think the world of Ralph as a human being. And but I have heard a lot of really good things, and the response from the guys has been good in terms of how Donnie came in and implemented his system and how he got guys to play. And so it's definitely good. I mean, you've seen some positivity over the last however many 25 games or so, and it's been nice to see. It's been nice to see some guys step up in different roles and have some success. I think it's been great. It's good for the organization. It's good for some of these young guys that are getting these opportunities, and some other guys who were kind of brought to the forefront. And obviously the goaltending situation, that's been an interesting one with all the injuries, but I think it's been great to watch some of these guys step in and play. I mean, Michael Hauser, I think it's been probably a whirlwind week for him. It's really cool to see him get that experience and get to play and obviously play well. So I think there's some positivity to be shown.
Jack, I don't think any of us thought we were going to be sitting here talking about the same thing this year that we talked about last year, as far as being in last place and the whole thing. And I've been around you long enough to know for sure how you feel about losing and how much you despise it. And you've talked about it many times. What is your mindset now after this year? How do you feel about it? And as things changed in your mind, do you still want to be part of the solution? Would you like to move on elsewhere? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty loaded question. I think there's a lot to it. I think, for sure, I would say I've been a bit upset about the way that things have been handled since I've been hurt. I wouldn't I'd be lying to say that things have moved smoothly since my injury. So yeah, I think that there's been a bit of a disconnect, I think, from the organization a bit and myself, and it's been tough at times, but right now for me, I think the most important thing is just trying to get healthy and figure out a way to be available to play hockey next year, wherever that might be. I mean, I think, the losing stuff, it takes a toll. I think it's all perspective, and yeah, I guess we'll see what happens, Paul. I think there's a lot to that question. I think in the situation I'm in right now, my main and number one focus has been to try and figure out a way to, one, be cleared to play, and two, just try and get myself in as good of condition to be ready to have a good year next year.
Hi, Jack. I guess, I had a different question, but now you bring up something else. What are you most upset about with the organization since the injury? And is there any implication there? Were you playing hurt before that Long Island game? Did the neck thing happen before that, or what's the situation there?
I think everyone probably plays hurt. In a season like this, I think everyone deals with things. I was dealing with stuff just like everyone else. So, before that, I wouldn't necessarily say that, I dealt with injuries just like everyone else does, maybe some worse than others. Obviously, you had the ankle sprain in New Jersey, missed a few games for that. Obviously, I broke a rib on the ice before the season, probably like a few weeks before training camp. So that was sort of the reason that I wasn't available at the start of training camp. I fractured the tip of my rib shooting too, actually, which is pretty interesting. It was a non-physical, or I didn't take a hit or anything. I was on the ice at the Harbor Center, and just too much torque on the tip of my rib and fractured, so I had to let that heal. So, and then I had a abdominal injury that I hurt last year, and it's to be honest with you, it's just lingered for a while, and it's been really hard to pinpoint what the exact issue is. There's some stuff that has been unresolved, and I think with COVID last year, the shutdown, it definitely put a pause on, I think, the healing or the treatment that I probably would have gotten, and not being able to travel and do things. So just dealt with that a little bit. And but listen, I mean, it's a Titan schedule. It's a hard season. My own opinion, we played in the hardest division in the league, and you're playing every other night. We had a COVID shutdown in the middle of the year for 2 weeks. Tightened our schedule up even more. So I'm sure that if you went to any team, I think guys are probably playing with stuff. So I don't want to make that an excuse for 2 goals or whatever I had. Like, I mean, when I was in the lineup, I definitely didn't contribute and play as well as I needed to play, and as well as this team needed me to play. And that's just a hard truth. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I was not good enough, and I can look myself in the mirror and say, yeah, you weren't good enough this year. Like, the times where you were in the lineup, you weren't good enough. So, I just got to be better. I got to be a better hockey player, and that's what it comes down to. Got to get healthy and get myself prepared for next year, but got to be better.
Hi, Jack. Adam Benini with Channel 2. It's good to see you. And
Nice to see you.
I want to go back to Paul's question and your response there. And I know it's a loaded one, right? But when you say you want to be healthy, obviously, to play hockey next year, wherever that may be, I got to ask you again about that. I mean, at your stage of your career with this organization, to have not played in a playoff game at this point, and questions about the future, including the head coach and all of that. I guess when I hear you say that, it begs the question, have you requested a trade? Have you expressed your openness to being traded? What is your mindset long-term about continuing to be a part of this organization, given where it's been and where it may go?
Yeah, I mean, I'm I'm frustrated. I'm sure if you went down the line in the locker room, I'm sure everyone's frustrated. So I'm not in any different situation than anyone else. You can't sit here on media day and be happy that we're having this conversation and we should still be playing. Like, that should be everyone's mindset, right? It should be, we're moving on to the playoffs, and we had a good year, and we're going to try and win a Stanley Cup. That should be the goal of every player at the beginning of the year, every team. And that was our goal when we started, whenever, in December. Did we reach it? No. Did we have a hard year? Yeah, we did. And I think when that happens, it forces everyone to, just consider what I guess you could do better, what you think maybe the future holds. I think I have a lot of thinking to do in this off season. I think that there's a lot that I have to consider, and but for now, obviously, I'm here. I'm the captain of this hockey team, and my goal is to be available and to try and help the guys in the room and help this organization win hockey games. I'll continue to do that as long as I'm here.
Jake, do you think this team could look radically different next year, given some of the guys that are free agents? Sam's an RFA. Do you expect it? There could be 4, 5, 6 more guys that have been here for a while that aren't here anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think whenever you lose and you find the lack of success that we've had, I think that this forces the organization to make changes. So I'm sure that there'll be changes coming. I don't know what they'll be, but just like you, I guess I'll wait and see.
Hey, Jack. Last off season, your name got tossed around in the rumor mill, and obviously that's going to happen again. How did you handle that, and how do you think you're going to handle that this time?
Yeah, I mean, you guys got to write about something, right? What's that? I think you're on mute.
Wasn't necessarily just in Buffalo. I mean, everywhere. But yeah.
I'm saying not just you guys. I'm saying everyone.
Yeah.
You guys have a job to do. You guys got to write about something. No, I mean, listen, it's part of it. Like I just said, we haven't had enough success, and I haven't had enough success. I've obviously not, I've not obtained the goals that I've set forth for myself as a professional hockey player, and making the playoffs, winning, being successful. So I think whenever that happens, I think you're always vulnerable for rumor mills and potential trades, and as an organization, I'm sure that they're considering every option they have, and what they want to do moving forward here. And like I told Bill, I guess we'll just wait and see what happens. I'm just trying to focus as much as I can on getting healthy and trying to be ready to play hockey next year, and kind of, I guess, maybe reestablish myself after I guess a tough, whatever it's been, 12 months. I obviously know that I have a lot more to give and to show to people, and I think last year I only scratched the surface, but this year it was just, from the start it just didn't go well, and I didn't play well enough. Obviously, our team didn't, and things were just kind of off the rails from the beginning. And then you get hurt, and things are definitely really off there. So I think I'm sure that the team's exploring every possible option and what they think they're going to do, and where this organization is going to continue to move forward. But like I said, as long as I'm here, my duty is to be the leader of this team and be available for these guys in the room. I think that might be one thing that kind of goes unknown, is just how good of a group there is here in terms of the guys in the room. It's a lot of really, really good people, and As bad as the losing was and things, with how good of a group we have and how good the guys are, it made coming to the rink better on some of those bad days. And I think that says a lot.
Jack, obviously you have an emotional connection to this team, but I want to ask you, how has your communication been with Kevin Adams while you've been away from the team, and what have conversations been like for you two?
Yeah, we've had a few conversations. It's been tough. I think that with my injury, there's been there's been a little bit of I think I said disconnect earlier, but there's been a little bit of it. I think obviously your job's to try and help win hockey games, you know what I mean, and I'm sure as management, as coaches, their main focus is producing wins on the ice, and it's tough at times, and like I touched on with how quickly games were coming and how little off days and time away we had this year, it made for a really hectic schedule. And with my injury, there's been a little bit of, I guess, one side, my own camp on one page and the team on another. And that's been tough. I mean, we're kind of going back and forth a bit on, the best way to go about it and treatment. And so there's been a few conversations, but more so just about getting healthy moving forward.
Hey, Jack, I know you mentioned the kind of disconnect between you and the organization as you were coming back from the neck injury. And I know you've had a few injuries in your career, but this was your first neck injury. And I know you said before that you're still kind of like learning a little bit about this, about herniated discs and all that kind of stuff in general. Do you feel like the disconnect sort of stemmed between short-term interest and a long-term interest? Maybe, one side wanting to get you back into the swing of things as soon as possible, try to put off surgery if possible, and maybe another side said, we got to think of the long term here, get surgery ASAP, get you ready, make sure you're ready for camp next year?
I mean, listen, like my number one interest and my number one goal is Jack Eichel. I mean, you know what I mean? You got to look after yourself. You got to look after what you think's best for yourself. And, the organization has a similar job to do, but it's to look after what's best for the Buffalo Sabres. So, it was tough. Like, I think that there's a little bit of things, I guess, maybe just haven't been very black and white, to put it in perspective. I think we're all trying to educate ourselves in the situation and what would be best moving forward. And so I think that there's been some tough conversations, but like, I got to do what's best for me. You know what I mean? I'm only going to play hockey for so long, 24 years old. Hopefully I have many more good years in this amazing game left, but I gotta take care of myself. And, so I think that, it's been tough at times, but I'll come out on the other end of it. And before I know it, I'll be back on the ice, and I look forward to that.
Hey, Jack. A lot to process here. You as you said, you got to do what's best for you. If what's best for you isn't to be in Buffalo anymore, how confident are you that management and ownership would honor that request or that feeling from you?
I think, as I just kind of mentioned, I mean, I can do what's best for me, but they got to do what's best for them. So it's a business. It's just any other business. You know what I mean? You gotta, if you're at the top of this business or whatever, like, you got to do what's best. The Buffalo Sabres have to do what's best for the Buffalo Sabres. You know what I mean? And I understand that. Like, that's just part of the business. I bet you, if you asked any NHL player, I think that they would all be on the same page. Like, you got you got to do what's best for the organization. And as a player, you have to protect your own interests, what's best for you. So I think there's a lot to there's a lot to process. I mean, it's obviously not the season that anyone wanted to have, other than maybe Rhino. He had a good year. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm sure these conversations will be had, and things will go from there.
Hey, Jack, how much does who the next coach will be, how much does that factor into your decision as to whether you want to be here or not moving forward? How much does that factor into any thoughts you have about your future?
I haven't really thought about it. I haven't really thought about it, Heather. I'm sure, unfortunately, I've played for a few coaches here. I didn't get the opportunity to play for Donnie, but I do know him. I've played for him before at the national team, and he's a tremendous, tremendous guy. I think he's got a great mindset, and obviously there was a good connection between him and the players, so it was nice to see. And but I'm not really sure where the coaching side of things stands, and I don't really know. I'm not sure.
Jack, I guess I'm puzzled, and I'm coming at this from a standpoint of, if I were with my doctor, it's my decision what I want to do. And I guess my question is, if you want surgery or if you don't want surgery, whatever your thought is on that, why don't you just do what you would like to do? It's your body. It's your decision with a doctor.
Doesn't work like that, Paul.
Is it because of a contract?
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. I wish. I mean, yeah, you can't. I guess that's you hit the nail on the head there. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's it. I mean, obviously I'm under contract with this team, and they definitely hold a lot of cards on what I can and can't do.
Jack, that's kind of where I'm going. I mean, clearly you'd like to have surgery and get this taken care of, is what I'm reading from all this. What's your information, though, if you have surgery? How long would you be out? I mean, have they told you, a month, 6 months, a year? I mean, based on what they've told you?
No, I'll be, it's a pretty quick recovery. So it's quick. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's a quicker recovery. Like there's, you know what I mean? So, just like anyone, I think in my position, you just want to try and put yourself in as good a position as you can to be ready to rock when the puck drops next year. That's my goal. So, I've had to talk to a whole heck of a lot of people and a lot of different opinions. So, just try to inform myself as much as I can. Obviously, this is kind of like uncharted territory for probably a lot of us, and how to move forward, and just trying to do what's best for Jack Eichel in the long term, because one day, hopefully a long time from now, I won't play anymore hockey, and my career will be over, and I got to be a father and a husband, and my responsibilities change. So there's a lot to take into it. I mean, we're not talking about just like a black and white ankle sprain or separated shoulder. I mean, we're talking about a herniated disc in your neck. It's a serious thing. So there's a lot of things that go into it.
Thank you, Jack.
All right, all set. All right, take care, guys. Have a great summer.